My name is George Taylor. I'm 72 years old. For most of my life, I was a science teacher in a small-town high school in Ohio. I loved my job. The kids kept me on my toes, the staff felt like family, and every day had a purpose. I retired at 62, thinking, now I'll finally relax, do things I never had time for. Morning walks, gardening, reading all those books stacked on the shelf. Maybe even take a little trip with Martha, my wife of 45 years. But life had other plans. About a year into retirement, I started feeling this odd stiffness in my right knee. Nothing dramatic, just a little discomfort while climbing the porch steps. I brushed it off. It's just age, I told myself. I kept ignoring it, but the pain didn't ignore me. It got worse. From stiffness, it became a sharp pull, then swelling. Within a year, I couldn't walk a block without needing to sit down. My morning walks became memories. Eventually, I went to the doctor. He examined my knees and said in a calm, almost casual tone, "You've got osteoarthritis, very common at your age." I smiled and nodded, pretending I understood. But inside, I felt like something had cracked. Not just my knee, but my idea of what life after retirement would be. Soon, small tasks became battles. Getting in and out of bed felt like lifting a mountain. I needed help just to tie my shoes. I stopped driving. I stopped gardening. I stopped moving. My wife, Martha, tried everything to help. Heat pads, herbal ointments, turmeric milk before bed, even some home remedies from her sister in Florida. But pain has a way of making you feel isolated, even when you're surrounded by love. I stopped meeting friends, avoided phone calls. I told my grandkids not to come visit too often. Not because I didn't love them, but because I didn't want them to see me like that. There were days I'd just sit by the window, watching others walk their dogs, laughing on the street. And I'd whisper to myself, is this it? Is this what growing old really looks like? Then, one evening, Martha quietly placed an old photo in front of me. It was me, standing tall on the school baseball field, whistle in hand, coaching the boys' team. There was energy in my stance, fire in my eyes. She looked at me and said, "I want him back, that George, the one in this photo." I didn't say a word, just stared at that picture long after she went to bed. And that night, something changed. I realized I'd let the pain take over everything, not just my body, but my spirit. Next morning, I made a decision. I wasn't going to wait for a miracle. I was going to be the miracle. I called a physiotherapist. When she arrived, I was nervous, embarrassed even. I could barely stretch my leg without wincing. She smiled gently and said, "We're not chasing speed. We're chasing strength." Day 1 was hard. Day 2 was harder. But I showed up every day. 15 minutes of exercise, then 20, then 30. We changed our diet. More greens, more ginger, less sugar. Martha started making anti-inflammatory soups. I stopped drinking soda. I began with simple stretches, then chair yoga. It wasn't glamorous, but it was something. And slowly, my legs remembered. My body remembered. I remembered who I was. It wasn't a straight line. There were setbacks. Some mornings I'd wake up stiff and frustrated, ready to quit. But every time I felt like giving up, I'd look at that photo, the coach, the leader, the man who stood tall. And I'd tell myself, he's still in there, just buried under a little pain. Fast forward to today. It's been 14 months. I can now walk around the entire block without stopping. Last Sunday, I even played catch with my grandson Ethan, just for 5 minutes. But he looked at me and said, "Grandpa, you're pretty fast for an old guy." And we both burst out laughing. That laugh, that simple, pure laugh, felt like the reward for everything I'd been through. Now, I share this story not because I think I've done something heroic, but because I know someone out there, maybe you, is sitting in silence, thinking your best days are behind you. Let me tell you something, friend. Pain is a chapter, not the whole book. You are not your aching joints. You are not your prescription bottles. You are not done yet. There is still purpose, still joy, still movement, even if it starts with one small step. My name is George Taylor. I am 72, and I'm just getting started. If I can do it, you can too.